we have 5900X, and there's the 5600X. So I'm going to take this out of the box. Oh yeah, and by the way, the packaging on this is terrible. It's clearly not very well in there. You can see the CPU can move around quite a bit. Anyway, it should be alright because it's in a clamshell. Yep, I'm going to take this out of the box and put it in the board. Exciting. There it is. 5900X. Very nice. There we go. Ryzen 5 in there. Ryzen 9 in there. And also I did buy this CPU here from Scan. So they gave me some free thermal paste, Arctic MX4. So I'll probably use that. Obviously there's not very much in there, but should be enough. And yeah, it was pretty good. Got it shipped next day, pretty much straight away. And yeah, Overclocker's website, which is where I normally buy stuff from, had crashed about a minute before the pre-order thing went live. So that was like 1 minute to 2, and then it didn't come back on for about 5 minutes. So luckily I had Scan open as well. So I just bought it from Scan, checked out fine in the first minute. My payment went through in 55 seconds after 2 o'clock. So yeah, that's why I've got this, and I'm guessing there was a shortage of them because not many other people have managed to get them. So we have got both. I'm just going to stick this over there for now. Put the box on top of the radiator. So there we go. Yep, so I'll just shove the EK water block on and then we'll be good to go. So there we go, it's inside the board. Just need to turn the power on. Oops. Yeah, power supply is already on. Good. Off we go. Oh. There we go, new CPU installed, 12 cores, excellent, 5900X, oh yeah, I forgot to put the fan back on as well, there we go, beautiful. It's just blowing some air over the memory and not really the VRM, but who cares. Anyway, right, I ain't got the fans on yet either, because yeah, we'll just go at stock first, I think. See what kind of temperatures we get. We're sitting at 27 degrees at the minute. So yeah, let's just go, see what happens. Right, we're in Windows again, and we are at stock, and when I say stock, I haven't even enabled XMP like I did with the 5600X. Some people complain about that in the comments. There you go, 2133, no one's ever going to run that, but whatever. You would hope not anyway. So yeah, let's see how high it goes. I'm going to run the CPU Zed Benchmark first, even though I'd rather run Cinebench, but we're going to run the CPU Zed Benchmark first. Why not? There's that, there we go. What should we go up against? Choices. We're just going to go against a 3950X, why not? Oh yeah, look at that. It's gone off the scale. I think the scale only goes to 9000. There you go. That's it. So yeah, it's not as fast as the old 16 core, but come on, it's pretty close. Let's have a look against the... oh yeah, there we go. We've just smoked i9 7980XE and the old Threadripper. So yeah, the old 16 core is the only thing that can beat it there. Alright, let's try a Cinebench R15 Run. Hopefully we'll get the speed that it's boosting to this time. Ah yeah, there we go. So mine is boosting to 4.4-ish. Oh wow, that's quick, it's done already. Would you look at that? Smoked my overclocked 3900X already. Very nice. Just run it again. So fast. Doesn't even have time to register what's going on. Boom. Wow. Damn. Right, so there we go. We'll save that as the stockest score ever. And we'll do 11.5. Probably going to be instantaneous. Yeah, it's sitting about 4.4, 4.35 maybe. Boom! Again, 3900X destroyed. Save that. Yeah. Oh, we need to do the single thread as well, don't we? Ah. Well, let's go. So, one of my cores boosting to 4.95 on a couple there. So I'll come back when it's finished and we'll see what single thread it gets. The only thing it's going to be close to, if anything, is my 5600X. There we go, that's 268 on the single thread at stock. So you can see that is the 5600X, I think at 4.7 or 4.8, and that's it at 4.95. So considering we haven't got any memory overclock yet, that's pretty reasonable. I'll do R20 next. Here we go, R20, let's see how quick it is. See what it boosts to as well. Looks like about 4.35, maybe a little bit more. And there we go, 8,623. Seems pretty good. The 5600X is down here at 4,832. So it should be about double that, shouldn't it really? So yeah, not quite double, but pretty good still. Right, I'm going to do one run with the hardware info 64 open, just so we can see the temperatures. And that time it got 8,600. So I'm going to do the single thread test now. 627, so it is a bit faster than the 5600X. So as we saw with the 5600X, the only thing that actually worked, because PBO was broken, was this core performance boost thing. So I'm gonna enable that, but I'm gonna set the frequency now because it's slow. So I'm just gonna go for 3200. Right, we're in Windows. Let's see what it goes to now. Just set the memory to 3200 as you saw. Gonna run Cinebench again. Start with R15. So actually on this CPU it's not making a difference. We still seem to be around 4.4. The extra performance could just be from the memory and the FCLK. So yeah, that performance boost thing doesn't actually seem to have worked on this CPU. I've just set the static 4.4 GHz 1.2 volts overclock, and I'm just gonna overclock in Windows using Asus Turbo V, and we'll just see how high it can run Cinebench R15. So I'll just stick that over there. So I just want to see how high it can go at 1.2 volts. Gonna run it a couple of times between each step. So we're already beating the stock score and the performance boost score, and this is literally just a static 4.4. You can see it's going down to 1.12 volts under load, so the VRM's not really very warm. Okay, so run it one more time. I'm expecting this to be pretty stable. Should be able to do maybe 4.5 at this voltage. It is dropping down a lot though on the V droop, so we'll see. Go to 45, apply. You can see that's applied there. Still dropping down to 1.12 or 1.13 under load. Should be a bit quicker now. There we go, 3800. Got the fans on now as well. $3,800. One more time. It's so fast compared to the 6-core one. It's almost twice as fast, I guess. So, yeah, bombing round. There we go. That'll do. Let's try 4.55. This is still with 32 megahertz, 3200 megahertz memory as well. Right, let's go to 4.6. 3,900 again. 4.65. Creeping up to 4,000. I bet it's going to crash at 4.7 now. Oof. See it slow down for a couple of seconds there. Right, let's go up to 4.7, see what happens. This is still at 1.2 volts. Setting the BIOS, there we go, it crashed. Thought it might do that. You can see how quick it was to find a fairly stable overclock. Well, Cinebench stable for using this Asus Turbo V core here. So I could probably run this at 4.6 if it passed like R20 and X265 and all that. So let's go back up to 4.7, but we'll give it 1.25 volts, and it is V drooping a lot, remember. Right, let's go to 4750. Probably crash. Yeah, there we go. So I've just booted back in, set 4.7 again, 1.25 volts, and I've just got hardware info up here just so we can see the temps. Now we're at a bit higher clock frequency and we're using a bit higher voltage. You can see it's still only getting to 53 degrees. We're still getting the same score as before as well. Yeah, it's because R15 is so fast it doesn't actually have time to get up to any kind of reasonable temperature. There we go. So we'll go up to 1.3 volts and see if we can run 4750 again. I'll leave the temperature monitor open. So now we're not even hitting 70 degrees, or 60 degrees rather, sorry, and we're getting over 4,000 points in Cinebench. Obviously this is on a monster water loop, but yeah, that's pretty good actually. Let's run it again. You can see it's actually dropping all the way down to 1.2 under load, even though we've got 1.3 set. So let's go to 1.35. I've just changed the voltage, I haven't changed the clock speed. Just want to see what the V droop goes down to mainly. So 1.26. No speed increase. Let's try 4.8. There you go, 4.8. I think we'll have a play around at 4.8 in a minute. See if it'll do 4.85. So it's getting just over 60 degrees now. Let's try 4.85, see what happens. Probably crash, to be honest, but yeah, there we go. So yeah, we'll have a bit of a play around at 4.8. Just run the single thread test really quick, and 264, which is a little bit lower than the stock boost, which was boosting up to about 4.9, which was getting 268. So you're only losing a tiny bit of single thread there for 4.8 at 1.35 volts. It does drop to about 1.25 volts under load. So yeah, I'm going to run R20 now anyway, and yeah, we'll see how that goes. I'm going to see if it's stable in R20 and what kind of temperatures we get in that. It should be a bit warmer, and this is harder to run because it's AVX. Over 9,000, well over 9,000 actually. In fact, you can see the stock score below. Yeah, that's pretty impressive. I'll do the single thread test as well. So there we go, 4.8 on the single thread gets 620, so we're 7 points behind where we were before, and that's with all of these things open. You can see the maximum temperature only ever reached 63, which means I can use some more voltage, try and get 4.85 gigahertz stable. I might actually just use some LLC instead though, because I wasn't having load line calibration issues with the 5600, but with the 5900, because it takes so much more power. Clearly the VRM is drooping the voltage a lot more, so I'll try and get it to stabilize around 1.3 to 1.325 volts when it's actually under load, and that should get me to 4.85, I'm thinking. I'm also going to try single core as well. I'm thinking it's going to do over 5 gigahertz, but we'll see. So I'm just changing the power settings to try and get the voltage to stay a bit more stable. I've changed the load line calibration to level 4, which I believe is the same as high or very high before. There's 5 levels, I'm pretty sure that's none, that's like low, medium, high and very high, or extreme, whatever you want to call it. So I'm going with level 4, which should mean there's no real V droop, but it doesn't boost over. I think 5 would probably go over and 3 would probably go a little bit under, so I'm going to go with 4. Current capability I'm just going to change to 140, and CPU power duty control I'm going to put on extreme, and yeah, we'll see how that goes. Going to test again 4.8 gigahertz, but because it was going down to 1.25 volts under load, I'm now going to test it at 1.3 volts and see if it can hold 4.8, but with the higher load line calibration, and see how this affects the temperatures. But before I was running 1.35, and this time I'm only going to run 1.3. Stick that over there. I'm also going to bring up hardware info. So there we go, 4.8, 1.3 volts, and where the temperatures are there at the top. Alright, hopefully you can see that. Yep, you can. And the voltage is going to be in CPU Z. We've got 1.3 volts set now. So, hopefully. Right, there we go. It's not dropping down anywhere near as much now. It's 1.28 volts. And you can see it's hitting about 63 degrees like it was before. So yeah, it's running slightly higher voltage now. And you can see it's not drooping down as much. So we've lowered the voltage here when it's sitting there from 1.35 to 1.3, and under load we've increased it from 1.25 to 1.28, and that's just by changing the load line calibration to level 4. Let's go back up to 1.35 volts, maybe 1.34, and we're going to go to 4.85 gigahertz again and see if that is now stable. So it is V drooping down to 1.32 now. And it was stable for one run. We've broken 4100 in Cinebench. So it's sitting about 1.35, 1.34 at idle. But it's only dropping down to 1.32 rather than... Oh, it almost crashed then. I just saw it hesitate. But it's getting a higher score. So it's going down to 1.32. I'll increase it a little bit more. See if I can run it again. So 1.328 now. Yeah, that looks a little bit more stable. Score increased a little bit more. We're still only maxing out at 70 degrees. 71.8 on the hottest die. Yeah, and again, really nice score. So I'll do a single thread test and we'll see what score it gets. And there we go, we've increased single core to 266 from 264. So we're literally only 2 points off the stock score and only 6 points off the 4.95 gigahertz 5600X. I'm going to see if it's stable in R20 next, so I'll just bring up that and then we'll see the result. And there we go, R20 4.85 all core. It hits 71 degrees, 72 degrees in those R15 runs, so we'll see if it's stable for R20 or not. There we go, over 9,000, 9,579. I'll just run it again to confirm that. Temperature wise, 72 degrees. If the camera would focus properly, that would be nice. There we go. There we go. A bit lower that time, but still only 72 degrees. So basically 9,500 we'll call it. So let's go again. I'll do the single thread test now. So there we go, we have matched the single thread with its stock now. Now interestingly, on all the reviews I've watched so far, when they were doing the stock testing, the CPU was boosting to 5 to sort of 5.1, maybe 5.05 in some cases on the single thread tests, and they're all getting like 640 to some even getting 650 with PBO on. I've no idea how they're getting that. Mine might be a worse sample than theirs, but I don't know. I just ran the multi-thread test again. 9,533. So yeah, it's a bit weird with the single thread because anyway, I just matched the single thread with the stock score 627 there. I can't see the memory making much difference either on the single, although that's what I'm going to test next, so we'll see. So we've got 4.85, 1.35 volts set, level 4, on the LLC. Maximum temperatures are pretty reasonable, 72.5 degrees after multiple runs, so I'm pretty happy with that. Actually, before we do the memory overclocking, we're actually just going to try 4.875. Has it died already? Yeah, it's dead. So for X265 I've just run 1080p on Overkill with two of them. It's just got 120.4 FPS, you can see there. I've had to drop it down to 4.8 because it crashed at 4.85, and you can see the temperatures are only getting up to about 68 degrees. So I'm going to abort that run and try it again on high. You can see how quick it is. There you go, 121.9 that time, and 68 degrees. Now let me show you what happens if I go up to 4.85 with the X265 Benchmark. So 4.85 was stable for Cinebench, but if I go 4.85 here and then just run it again on normal, it might crash. Maybe not, it works that time. So try it on high. It did definitely crash last time, because after I finished running Cinebench I ran this and it did crash, so that is weird. Seems to be fine now. How strange. Oh well. There we go. 69.8 on the hottest core after a couple of runs of that.